Hello, and welcome to the Reginald F. Lewis Museum of Maryland African American History and Culture's first readathon. We are so delighted that you are joining us for this weekend of reading. From reading books like Pleasure Activism to maybe reading a classic like Daphne du Maurier's Rebecca. And I'm so delighted that we have our executive director, Terri Lee Freeman, here to tell us what is on her nightstand to read as we enjoy our weekend readathon. Hi, Terri Lee Freeman. I am very well, but you'll need to unmute yourself.
I'm unmuted.
I'm glad. It's great to see you.
Good to see you as well. And I'm excited to have this conversation about all these books that I have on my nightstand that I haven't actually read yet. Some I do read, but I have a great selection of books that are going to keep me busy over the holidays.
And it's perfect that we're getting a little bit of time to do a readathon, and we're doing it right before the holidays so people can get ideas about books to gift each other, books to gift themselves,
Absolutely.
what some of the readers in their lives might want. This is all part of our Reading the Culture program, our fall 2022 programming, and this is the last program for us of the Reading the Culture program. So without further ado, let's start out with what's on your nightstand.
Okay, so let me describe it this way. I have daily readings that I like to do that I find really kind of help put me in the right mindset to move forward in the day. So the first is My Utmost for His Highest, which is by Oswald Chambers, and it is a religious book. And what it does is daily it gives you a Bible scripture and then his kind of explanation of what that means, as well as how we might be able to utilize that scripture in practical application. So every morning I start with this particular reading, My Utmost for His Highest. And then I go to that great psychologist, Ayanna Van Zandt, and I have the Big Book of Faith, which is a combination of two of her books, Acts of Faith and Faith in the Valley. So the first half of this book is similar to the previous one, where you have daily kind of readings and affirmations. Of course, hers are more practical around, how to live life is what I would say. And then the second half is actually a book, Faith in the Valley. I actually happen to really enjoy Ayanna Van Zandt. I think some people have a lot of mixed feelings about her, but I enjoy her writing. So those are my two daily that I have. And then I have three books that I can begin to read. And as I might be traveling soon, so this was the book that we had for the humanities, What's Mine and Yours by Naima Coster, a good fictional read. And then recently, the Maryland Lynching Memorial Project had this author, Terri Ann Scott, Lynching and Leisure. So I purchased this book, and I do plan on reading it because I think it will be very interesting. And then finally, the one that I'll probably start reading first is Wench. I actually have started Wench before and didn't finish it. So this time we're going to go ahead and read this book that talks about a period in time where enslaved women were basically kept as personal, what's the word I want to use, Izetta? I don't want to use the word plaything, but personal playthings, right? And I think that you're muted.
Forced into sexual relationships and servitude, exactly.
Right. So I think it's going to be a really interesting read. There's another book that I can think of, the Feast of All Saints, which talks about the women in New Orleans who were 1/8 Creole, you know, 1/8 Black,
Mhm.
1/8 Creole, and how they were also similar to these women, kept women
Mhm.
by white men. So I'm interested in that. And then I just brought this book because I just love this book. I thought it was an incredible read, Homegoing by Ya Jasi. And I think for someone who this was her first novel,
Mhm.
I thought it was brilliantly and
Mhm.
really, it really was very easy to see
Mhm.
what was happening in this book because she's such a good writer, and it was an easy read.
Ooh, so where do you usually get most of your books from, and how do you decide what sort of catches your interest?
I have to be honest. I probably order most of my books from Amazon. I don't get to bookstores as frequently as I would like to. And often, what I find is I'm like, okay, I got this title. Let me go ahead and order it now so I can get it. But how do I choose my titles? Often it's from um, I'll read a magazine, and the magazine will have like Essence always has suggestions for good book reads. Sometimes I'll watch the news and they'll have an author on, and I'll find their discussion really interesting. Sometimes I get the New York Times on Sunday, and sometimes I'll get book selections from the New York Times. And then other times people just say, I read this incredible book. And my first question is, so how long is it? Because I do have a page quota. If I want to get through the book, it needs to be less than 400 pages. And so once they say, oh, it's 360 pages, I'm like, good. Okay, so what's the name of the book? So that's really, I mean, it's there's no magic to
Mhm.
my reading. There for a while, I was kind of doing one fiction, one nonfiction, one fiction, one nonfiction.
Mhm.
But I haven't been reading consistently for
Mhm.
like the past year. I hope that I'll be able to kind of pick it back up again because for years, I was like 20 years, I was a member of a book club and I was reading books every month. So
Mhm.
um, I'm looking forward to now that I'm doing this. I feel like I can't be on the readathon and not actually finish the book. So
And have you always been a reader? What is it about reading that you like?
I have. I've always been a reader. Well, a part of it too is that my mom was a reader. I honestly think my mother was the last subscriber to Reader's Digest. There was always a Reader's Digest on the bed table, along with a book and a couple of magazines. So I was really always seeing her read. My grandparents were readers as well, and I like the idea of being able to go places because of what I'm reading.
Mm.
So the opportunity to travel, the opportunity to get into other cultures, the opportunity of maybe being a part of a mystery. That is what has always been enjoyable to me about reading, that I can put myself in the place of wherever the book is happening. And by place, I don't mean just location. I really mean being put into that place. So when I read the book, not Precious, was that the name of the book? The movie was called Precious.
I think that was us. Well,
No, I think the book title was different,
right.
but even being able to put myself in what was her very unfortunate circumstance um, was um, an opportunity for me to see a story that I had never seen or
Mm.
experienced before. So, and I think that that's what reading can do. It really does open up your horizons.
Mm. Do you have a favorite book or author, which is always a difficult question to ask of a reader? So I'll give you three.
Good. Okay, so I would say Yajas mine because I just think that her writing is beautiful. Um, Gloria Naylor. Um, Linden Hills is one of my favorite books. I like the play on that the farther you go down the hill, the higher you come up in status. I just thought that was interesting the way she wrote that book. And J. California Cooper, I like almost every book that she has written. So those would be my three.
Ooh, thank you for the recommendations and the tips of books to check out. We are so delighted that you are joining us for the readathon. Please make sure that you share what you are reading and your progress. You can use the hashtag Reggie Reads over on our socials or on your socials. Tag us, share what you're reading, send pictures of what you're reading. We're so glad that you're joining us. Happy reading.